I think that's a pretty clear demonstration of the difference between these two drills. Even though there's a lot of similarities, you are getting a little bit more with the new one. Hey YouTube, welcome back to Tinker with Tools. Tonight we are going to be talking about the brand new 36-volt hammer drill from Metabo HPT, so let's go ahead and get right into that on Tinker with Tools. Now, I'm no stranger to this brand, whether you want to call it Metabo HPT, Hikoki, or even the former Hitachi name. This has been a brand that has been in my hands for quite a number of years. I got my first power tool over 15 years ago when I was recently married, and my dad gave me a Hitachi drill. And although I've moved on for it, I still have an affinity for the brand. Now, I've done videos over the years of several different Metabo HPT tools, and I think they're one of the hidden gems of the tool landscape because they do have tools that certainly compete with some of the best tools in their segments, but they can often be found for a cheaper price than what you're getting at other brands, especially once they've been out for a while and you start to see sales and deals offered with them. So let's go ahead and go over this new hammer drill, talk about what is different from the prior model, and then we're going to go through some testing. So let's get right into that. All right, so this is it, the brand new 36-volt hammer drill. This is model DV36DC. Metabo HPT is a little bit unique from some of the other brands that we talk about because they have a multi-volt system. And what that means is while this is a 36-volt tool, their batteries will operate on both 36-volt and 18-volt tools interchangeably. The 18-volt batteries do not, however, work on the 36-volt tools, so something like this Compact 2.0 that they recently came out with on their newer tools is not going to work on this tool. So unlike a brand like Makita that made a clear delineation between their LXT and their XGT tools, they have kept some sort of backwards compatibility with some of their other tools lines so that you can still use these batteries with all of their tools. You're just going to need the bigger batteries for the 36-volt tools. Now, what is going to be different from this drill from the prior generation? Well, this one is going to boast 1,400 inch-pounds of torque, which is almost 200 inch-pounds more than the prior model. This one was rated at 1,220. You're also gaining just a little bit of speed. You're gaining 50 RPMs down in speed 1, and you're gaining a little bit in that speed 2, going from 2,100 up to 2,200. Now, with those numbers, this is now going to be, in my opinion, even more competitive with some of the top drills on the market. With those 1,400 inch-pounds, you're now going to be going toe-to-toe with some of the best in the market with the likes of Flex and Milwaukee in terms of raw torque, and it certainly is going to be putting this drill right in the crosshairs of a lot of different competition. Now, it did get smaller from the prior generation, losing about a half an inch to the old tool. The old tool was going to be just over 8 inches. This one's coming in right around 7.5 inches, but it did gain a little bit of weight. The old tool with their 2.5 amp hour 36-volt battery is going to be about 4 ounces lighter than this new tool. So a little bit shorter, a little bit heavier. Honestly, because of the reduction in size, it feels like the smaller tool, and the weight is not big enough to be noticeable in my opinion. Now, a couple of the other improvements that I think we see with this drill is going to be, first and foremost, it feels like they really improved the fit and finish of the drill, or perhaps I should call it the build quality. And really, I think it is just a good modernization of the tool with some tighter tolerance. The other big difference from the prior generation of tool is to attach the old handle, you just had a threaded insert that screws into this top part, and there is a second contact point down here. Overall, it just seems like maybe this wasn't the strongest way to connect the handle. With the new tool, they've gone with this design, which is kind of reminiscent of a DeWalt in terms of how it connects, but they do have these different ridges around here that will kind of locate with the tool and secure to fixed points. You can have the handle in a bunch of different orientations, so if you want it here, or if you want to offset, you can kind of set it up exactly how you want. And once this is on there, it really feels like it's on there and secured very well. Additionally, the handle got a little bit shorter, but it certainly is still a usable length, and so overall, they just made everything a little bit more compact, but still very useful, and still a really nice package in my opinion. Now, one of the other features that was on the older tool, but seems to work maybe a little bit better on the newer tool, which is going to be RFC, which is their reactive force control. A lot of people just call it anti-kickback. On the old drill, you'll notice right up here, it does say that it has RFC, and you can get this tool to cut out when it starts to bind up, but it's almost like simply when it is going to bind up that it is going to notice that and cut out the drill. If you just go ahead and let this run, you're not going to get it to activate, in my opinion. And so even though it does seem to still protect you at times in the tool, now the new one, once you go ahead and rotate that around, much like we've seen from other brands, you do have a very good safety system in here. Now, between what I consider to be a safer, easier to use handle and a slightly more reactive RFC, you are going to feel like this is, in my opinion, a safer drill. Now, as far as I can tell, there is no way to deactivate the RFC, unlike you can with some of the other competitors in this marketplace. From practical use, I've never had it activate when I haven't been trying to get it to work. So I don't think it's necessarily going to be overly sensitive. All right, so there you kind of have the basics about what has been changed about this tool. Let's go ahead and show you some testing. Now, the tests that I did tonight are not going to be light tasks, in my opinion. Both of these drills are going to be able to do those, and you're going to find very little difference because both of these are powerful, strong tools. So my goal in testing today was simply to show you where that differentiation between these two generations of drills is going to be. All right, so there you have it. Let's go ahead and get into the testing, and then we'll come back for conclusion. Cut out second time. All right, so I have not seen every final number that we've done for testing. I have seen some preliminary testing, so I kind of know where the two drills shake out. Overall, I think that this is a little bit of an improvement over the older drill. But if all you're going to this drill for is power, I'm not necessarily sure that it is a necessary upgrade unless you've been running into issues where this drill simply cannot get the job done. But it's not going to be the main reason why I would recommend you go out and consider this drill. The overall size reduction and some of the improvements in the fit and finish are the reasons why I think this is a vastly better drill than that prior generation. The build quality seems better. Parts just feel a little bit more well built, perhaps a little bit better thought out, a little more premium. Everything is a little bit more refined. With this drill, you get that clank every time you let off the trigger, and it does work, but you almost feel like it's breaking something when it's doing it. The new drill does not have that same issue. The trigger response seems to be a little bit more responsive, and I really do like a snappy trigger on a drill. I want to be able to modulate that myself, but I don't want the tool to do it for me. I want it to just respond instantaneously, and I feel like you're getting an improvement in trigger response with this tool. The reasons why I would recommend somebody go to this drill is just going to be the improvement from what you're seeing generationally in terms of how nice of a tool this is to use. And I think they've made a lot of strides and a lot of improvements with it. Now this kit does come with two of their 2.5 amp hour 36 volt batteries. Those are 5 amp hour equivalents. And it's going to come in a hard case with a charger and the tool and the auxiliary handle. Now at $299 or $300, this is going to be price competitive, but it is by no means the best value, in my opinion, on the market. I think the real intriguing value with Metabo HPT is just how often you can get their tools for a steeper discount. And so that is where this becomes a more compelling value, is when it's been out for a little while longer and you can get some better deals. In my opinion, has the potential to be a better value because it's going to be at a lower price point and potentially with those free battery promotions that are going to make it more intriguing. In future videos, we're certainly going to see how this compares to the best hammer drills on the market. So if you've got one you want to see tested, go ahead and let me know. Can't promise I'm going to have all of them, but we'll go ahead and see what we can do for a nice big hammer drill face-off, in my opinion. And then additionally, they have also just come out with a new 18 volt drill. That one is actually being sold as tool only, so it is something that I think is going to find its way to the channel sooner rather than later. Now it's going to feature similar power to the older 36 volt drill, being in that 1200. So I guess the question we're going to have to answer there is, are you going to be able to get good enough performance out of that one, and so you can get it at potentially a lower cost even, or do you need to actually go to the 36 volt? So there you have it, the brand new 36 volt hammer drill from Metabo HPT. This is a brand that I have long tried to shout from the rooftops just how nice of tools they do make and how they really should be considered a professional brand with a lot of their tools. They may not have the entire lineup that some of these brands have, but the premium tools they do have certainly are some of the best. If you have any questions about this drill or any of the Metabo HPT ones I've shown before, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. Make sure you to remind me if there's a tool you want to see this one go up against in a future video, and we'll see if we can make it work. If you like this sort of video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. It really helps to support the channel and to spread it around to more and more people, which helps us test more tools in the future. I appreciate all the support, especially at this time of year. Have a happy holidays. And until next time, I'll catch you on Tinker with Tools.